What's going on, guys? Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? Welcome to TATtalk. So today we got a lot of information to go over. We're going to be going to Fiji through our discussion. We're going to be talking about Fiji. But also, as you can see, the tattoo right here, this tattoo. We're going to go over our tattoo highlights of the week. And this tattoo, I finally completed this week after probably 4 sessions. And it looks very similar to the Rocks tattoo. So we're going to talk about the similarities and what's the difference between being inspired and copying. And we're going to talk about that later. Anyway, so the next tattoo that you see right here is a tattoo that is... 1 second, we're gonna go. Oh yeah. So this tattoo right here is a Sharpie tattoo, and it's just gonna give you guys an idea of an option that you could do if you want to see what a tattoo looks like before you actually commit. A client of mine's we talked about it and we decided we could do that. So we'll talk about that later. And then we have this one here. This is a throwback, but I kind of want to talk about this because it is a fusion of Polynesian design along with, that wolf, but it's kind of like that newer style geometric type tattoos that are kind of popular nowadays. So I'm going to talk about that. Lastly, we're going to talk about this tattoo. It's not Polynesian, but it's very meaningful because it's a memorial tattoo for what happened last year in Las Vegas. And this couple, a friend of mine actually, he wanted to, he was there in Las Vegas when the shooting happened, and he wanted to get a tattoo with his wife to memorialize that and everyone that passed and just being there. But we're going to talk about that later. So again, we're going to talk about Fiji. We're going to talk about, obviously, the tattoos I went over, and then we're going to do a tattoo tutorial where I show you guys some designs a little later. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Welcome to TATtalk. My name is Josh. I'm the host of the show, and we're here with Robert.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Robert?
What's going on?
So, anyways, today I just went over what we're going to be talking about, but for those of you that are watching for the first time, this is a live show. We created this show so that we can engage with you guys. I myself been tattooing almost 20 years now and been fortunate enough to travel throughout Polynesia, and meet with chiefs and dive into the culture more to expand my art and knowledge of tattooing. And now it's just a way that I can share what I know, but also I'm still learning and I want to engage with you guys. We have a lot of people watching from Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, New Zealand. I mean, all over. Because we're getting a lot of messages and a lot more views, which is great. But hopefully you guys can comment and share your culture wherever you're watching from.
Yeah.
And those of you that are watching from here in the States or Hawaii or anywhere else, share and learn. That's what this is for.
And I don't know if anyone missed the post I just put before the show, but if you like and follow the page, also comment on tonight's show. We are raffling off a limited edition IslandTAT sweater.
Yeah, let me show you guys that. I only made 2 of these.
Yeah.
It is a size 2X.
You can wrap up in it. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could give it as a gift.
Give it a gift.
Wear it. I mean, regardless, but it is a
Ooh,
sweater.
Look at that.
And there's only 2 of these made. We're not gonna make them again.
It's super soft. It's super comfortable.
Super soft. I mean, it's good quality.
Good quality.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I don't even have one of these. We're gonna be raffling it off. Because we want to encourage you guys to comment and engage with us. Many of you have been doing that, but we also want to reward you guys for doing that. So throughout the show, if anyone makes any comment, Cameron is going to be writing your names down and putting it in a little raffle container. And at the end of the show, we're just going to spin that raffle wheel up and pull a name. And whoever we pull, the only requirement is that you have to like and follow the page, because that's what we are trying to encourage to grow the community. And if you do that, which most likely you have, I hope, then we will contact you and send off your sweater. So, and we want to continue to do these things throughout the show.
Yeah, because this is your show. This is the people's show.
Yeah,
just
this
like
is
everything
for
else
you
we do. You know, it's there for everybody.
Yeah, this is for you guys. It's a community. I don't know anywhere else that people can go to besides Google.
Yeah.
Or the library to find out information, and I think this is a good way to start off.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, back in the day, you didn't have what they have today when you wanted to learn about tattooing and whatnot.
Right, and I do want to emphasize, I'm not a master at this. I only know what I know. I'm not an expert at all cultures. Like today, we're going to talk about Fiji, and I'm still learning about Fiji. I've never been fortunate enough to go to Fiji myself, so I haven't learned a lot of the symbols and meanings, although I do know some symbols and heard some meanings and researched it. I don't really like to take that information as like, truth.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
because in the past, this knowledge was passed down through oral tradition.
So yeah, it could be mixed up with different things.
Yeah, so a lot of things that are written down was from missionaries, and that's fine. That's great because they heard it, but we don't know the truth. I like hearing from chiefs or even just people that grew up in that culture, and that's where a lot of the information I got from in my tattoos that I like to share. So anyways, if any of you are watching from Fiji, please share today as we go over it. And I forgot to mention, for the tattoo tutorial at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, a viewer wrote in and sent in a drawing that he asked for some tips to what could be better in his drawing. So he said that it's okay for us to show you guys, because if I'm gonna tell him some tips or some pointers that I have for him, I want to tell everyone, not just him, but just share that information, and then you guys can join in on that.
And also show others, if you guys have things you have questions about, or Josh want to go over, to send them on in, and we'll go over on the show. I mean, it's part of the show.
Yeah, and this is a great way, guys, for everyone to talk and join in on the discussion, because nowadays you have to apprentice at a shop in order to become a tattoo artist, and I encourage that. You should do that. But it's hard to find a shop that will take you as an apprentice. It's hard to find out which is a good shop and who has integrity as an artist that will teach you, the right things.
Yeah, the right way.
And some people have been asking to apprentice under me.
Yeah, there's been quite a few
and
people.
I'm so busy right now. I really want to. I'm so busy. So what I tell everyone is just watch the show, because honestly, you're going to get a lot of information on the show. And if if I have some free time in the future, I'm definitely going to ask them some questions to know if they actually watched the show. And if they did, man, that knocks off a lot of time.
Showing you want it. Showing you want it. Yeah,
right?
Makes sense.
So let's start off. We're going to start off with our journey to Fiji. Go.
Yeah, Fiji.
So we're hitting Fiji today, and on our journey through the Pacific, we just maybe we just want to have a short segment on the culture itself, because it's very important when you learn about the tattooing part to know the culture first. As far as the missionaries, when was their culture kind of looked down upon?
Yeah.
because that kind of gives you a good idea of like what happened.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, before we get into what I looked up, which is the cannibalism, Robert, you know a little history?
Well, I mean,
You looked up a little.
I looked up some
history?
stuff, some basic facts for things I didn't even know. I mean, first of all, where's Fiji located?
Yeah, where's Fiji
it's
located?
Central Pacific Ocean. It's not just one island. I thought it was literally one island. It's called Fiji, and it's not. It's 330 islands and about
Good to know. Good to know.
inhabited. So you go back into their history, you're going to learn that there are different settlers have come in. So you go far as back as the first settler in 1643, it's a Dutch settler named Abel Tasman, or Tasman. He was on the northern island of Vanua Levu. Am I saying that right? Vanua Levu? It's one of the islands, the big islands, the top part. But the next is when I was talking to you. It's the original names before like Fiji and all that was
Right.
coming,
It's
yeah.
one of the islands.
Yeah, so the next one they have record of coming is James Cook, the famous British navigator.
Right.
You know, he came in 1774 but visited Laos. I think it's Laos. So then after him, there's going to be William Bligh, which is everybody knows as Bligh Waters because he actually charted and plotted the islands in 1789. So just all that in one, these are different people coming at different times, you know. So we also got the big one, which to me is huge. I never knew that the Indian people were in Fiji. And so to me, learning that in 1878, they had to labor India people shipped over to pick sugarcane as a debt, to pay off a debt. So they were in Fiji. So from 1879, it was 463 Indians in Fiji. At the end of it in 1916, there was 61,000 on record that ended up on the island. So the cultures were really diverse, really fast.
That's a big population of Indians.
That's a lot. I didn't know that many people could fit on island, but then again, I didn't know there were so many different islands either. So that makes plenty of sense. But some crazy facts. I learned that Castaway was filmed on one of the Fiji islands. So the movie. And also, the Fiji population surpasses some other smaller islands that are bigger, like Iceland. So Fiji has
Iceland?
Fiji has a population of 900,000 people.
In all 300.
In all of them, all together.
Okay.
900,000. So most smaller islands of other countries are way less than that. So those are some cool facts I have.
Yeah, for sure. We got some people from Fiji watching. Bula, Amos, and Gabby from Fiji.
Oh, what's going on?
How's it, Tommy? Tommy's watching. Maria, everyone watching. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're talking about Fiji once again, and again, I'm just gonna let you guys know, those of you that commented just by saying aloha, Bula, how's it, anything, you guys get entered into a raffle. At the end of the show, we're writing all your guys' names down, and at the end of the show, we're going to pull it, and then we're going to give away a limited edition
IslandTAT
sweater.
sweater.
We only printed 2 of them. Literally 2.
2, that's it.
In the world.
And they're so comfy.
Sweaters.
They're so worth it.
Quality.
Yeah.
We're going to do this, guys, throughout, the season.
Mm-hmm.
Every Tuesday. So tune in. Join us. This little community that we have. And, go ahead and comment right where you're watching from.
Oh,
and join in.
Kalani, what's going on? Chris, how's it going?
All right, so what I know is that it was called Land of the or
it's the Paradise
Cannibal Isles.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Cannibal Isle, Land of the Cannibals.
Because the Cannibal Isle makes sense because the strait that's between the 2 islands. You have to go between them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all I know is the missionaries all knew, like way back.
Yeah.
The English or British.
Yeah, the Britons.
They all knew, don't stop in Fiji. There's cannibals there. Because when I was researching, it's known for that.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into it, just to know, cannibals, they use these as forks. So these are called cannibal forks.
Oh.
And it's really interesting. And they use these as forks because of the fact that they couldn't touch the flesh. The chiefs
Oh.
You know, the chiefs were like royalty, you know, like high blood, and
Yeah.
they couldn't touch the actual flesh, so they were fed the flesh
By-
with these forks by the, you know, their the other
Yeah.
villagers.
Yeah.
Villagers.
Yeah.
You know, the
They're
village men,
people,
you know,
yeah.
they're people. Sorry, guys, I don't know the right terms.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know what's interesting? Look at that. The center cannibal fork. That's a human bone.
What?
Look at it. Yeah, that's like a.
Oh, that's like a
That's
maybe.
That's a bone. You know, I don't know where, like a femur bone or a thigh bone, or maybe it's too small for
Maybe an
thigh bone.
elbow,
Forearm.
forearm,
Ulna.
the elbow.
Elbone. I don't know, but that's pretty nuts, and that's actual artifacts right there. So
Wow.
you know what's crazy is this next picture right here was actually used or said to be used to eat the missionary baker, the priest. So, well, it says right there, you know, and it's an artifact. Now, the only reason that I know right here is when I was collecting artifacts, I came across this right here.
That's not real, right?
And this is a souvenir.
Oh.
This is a souvenir. Honestly, I don't want a real cannibal fork because this stuff is sacred and it has mana, you know, but
Yeah.
I mean it's kind of it's on the edge there. I don't
You think
know
it still
if I
has
want
flavor?
flesh, you know?
You think it still has like old skillet would have like flavor to it if you were
I
to...
mean, I don't know. I
that's
don't know,
gross.
but you know, it was so prominent. These cannibal forks, when I was researching it, I thought that the cannibals were just kind of certain rituals,
Yeah.
certain ceremonies that they would eat the flesh, but the more that I read, it was really common.
They just ate it.
No, it was during ritual ceremony.
Oh, okay.
But it was like almost like every ritual ceremony. I'm not gonna say every, but
Yeah.
it was very common for them to eat the flesh of humans. And the most well-known chief was Udre. Did you
Oh
know
yeah,
that?
he ate like 800 and something people, or
872
Ooh.
to 999. Like they don't know exactly,
How does he know that?
because of the stones. Like let's.
Oh, that's right, he
I want
put-
to see the
yeah.
photo that we got next. So, this is a reenactment of them actually, you know, during a
Cooking.
a battle where
Uh-huh.
they were getting some humans to eat.
Mm-hmm.
This next photo is a reenactment in 1800s where they reenacted
Oh, they're dragging that dude.
eating a human. Eating a human. So weird. And then here's some chiefs that were cannibals. I mean, this was taken in 18 or 1900s, but they were known to have eaten humans. Now, this is Chief Udre.
Mm-hmm.
He is in the Guinness World Book of Records as the most prolific cannibal to have eaten flesh anywhere in the world. 877 to 999 people.
And he looks healthy. You figured it. You're like, no, I mean, I know that's weird to say, but you figured something that's so taboo would make you not healthy, or you look horrible, like your skin would be bad or something.
It's so hard to even fathom
Yeah.
the idea of eating flesh. And, okay,
Yeah.
this is a crazy fact. Now, guys, I don't know if this is true or not. This is from my research, you know, that I heard that he only ate human flesh. He only ate human flesh. That's why he ate so many. He had a box where he would preserve the meat
Uh-huh.
so that he always had it. He always had it.
That's...
You know, right here is his tomb.
Oh, it's still, like, preserved and everything?
Yeah, well, that's his grave, and the rocks that you see around it.
Uh-huh.
He's said to have kept a rock for every human that he ate. So there was 872 rocks or stones, but there was different gaps. There was different
Wow.
gaps in it, and they said that's why it could have been up to 999.
You know, it's like... That's great. The preserved skin. Like, how do you... I mean... they must have had a technique or something.
Oh, you mean the flesh to preserve it?
Yeah, to preserve because human
salt, like regular meat. Didn't they preserve it with salt?
I don't know. I mean, would it be treated like regular meat? Skin's a whole different. It's thin. It's not.
Isn't
like.
Isn't it weird just talking about?
Yeah, all like questions about it.
Preserving human flesh to eat later. Like, I mean, it's
like, hey man, how'd you do it? Like, like I would want to ask. But.
I mean, they were, I guess the difference, because when I study this stuff, I find that Europeans or foreigners would think that they were savages, right? They call them savages because they ate humans, and it necessarily wasn't like that because there was rituals to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, right? Because
still
it's kind of savage, but
it wasn't to their.
It was very sacred. It was a sacred thing to eat human flesh.
To them, it was normal. It was
kind of like a communion with God for them.
Yeah.
It was that they were that close to God when they ate human flesh, and it's definitely taboo. But that, I guess, that died out when the missionaries came, right?
So I mean, what you're saying, but would I don't know how to say this? Would any settlers that came in, would they were they killed? Were they without warning, like, oh, you're not welcome, and kill them and then ate them, or was it like?
Well, I read different stories where they were scared.
Okay.
They were scared because they were gonna be eaten, and but when Baker was there, he went to different villages and he was safe, right?
Yeah, I mean,
read about that.
I know. I had someone just comment, Philip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said,
What's up, cuz? That's my cousin.
He said, he wasn't sure if all of them were cannibals or if there were certain islands, I guess certain tribes would only do it.
Right, and that makes sense. There is 300 islands, but
I'm pretty sure they all did it.
Culture.
Yeah, because their cultures, they all went to one. There was one leader, I guess the chief.
Yeah,
but they all had.
At one point, there was a king too.
Yeah, so they all had smaller ones, but they all went to one for the big decisions or just their culture in general. But I mean, to know that these other settlers, they said they would come in and it was seen, but some actually did the wrong move and they were eaten, weren't they? Wasn't there one?
Baker?
It was a Baker?
Yeah. Yeah, so the story of the last human that was eaten was a missionary. His name was Baker, and he was said to have disrespected the chief because he grabbed a comb from the chief's hair, and that was disrespectful. So when he left the village, they attacked him, right? Like the chief sent some warriors to go and kill him.
And that's what I read too, that someone touched his head, or he touched the chief's head. I didn't read the comb part, so that's more detail. So the
comb, when I read the story, that was actually Baker's comb.
Okay. Oh,
crazy. And he left it. He left it on the ground, and the chief, when he sat down, he sat on it, and he looked. He's like, oh, a comb. So he put it in his hair. And as you saw those photos earlier, that they had.
Yeah, the afro hair.
Like afro hair. So he put in his hair, and when he's walking around and Baker saw him, he's talking to him. He just
give me that back.
He reached over and grabbed his comb back, and the chief didn't know that was his. But it doesn't matter. Like, you don't touch the chief's head. I mean,
even to this day, they say it's frowned upon to touch an older man's head.
Right.
So, I mean, learn from the past.
And another fun fact: they have Baker's shoe soles, the soles of his shoes, in a museum somewhere, and as an artifact, and there's teeth marks in it. They're said that when they cooked him and they were eating like his feet, and they were eating the boot, they were like, what is this? The soles of his feet are really tough.
Oh, it tastes so wrong. It
tastes like dirt. I don't know.
You sure you left them in there for a half hour?
Why were there teeth marks in the soles of the boot?
Oh, that's so
wrong. But you can go see that right now. But that just goes to show that, that was their ritual. That was what they did back then.
Oh, it's just
those
crazy.
of you from Fiji, if you know anyone, let us know. Oh, Rich said no one breaking that record.
Yeah.
Imagine someone wants to break that record.
I have proof.
DL,
I have proof. Put me in.
Tallying up, and he's like, all right, I'm cashing in.
Oh, leave the comments real quick. Just want to say Uncle Helamano's joining us.
Oh, aloha.
And
mahalo, mahalo, mahalo.
we have joined from Mexico. Aloha from Mexico. Oli.
Oh, aloha.
Aloha.
Hello, Oli. Eric. Mahalo. For those of you just joining us, everyone that leaves a comment, you get entered into a raffle at the end of this show right here tonight. We're gonna raffle off this sweater. We only printed 2 of these. Two of these limited edition soft crew neck sweaters, and we're gonna raffle it off to anyone that just makes any comment. So those of you that did, you might win.
Yeah, how's it, Paul from St. Louis? Thanks for joining us, man.
All right, so that's the culture, guys. That's just an idea of the culture of Fiji. You know, it's we're in every island and culture that we hit throughout the Pacific. We're gonna touch base on
real quick,
you know, some history, cultural things, and then we want to do some of the art and tattoos. Now, again, the tattoos and art of Fiji. I never been to Fiji myself, so I want to just give you guys an idea of the art, what it looks like, and where like the ideas of their symbols come from. So here, right here, is a tapa, or they call it masi, in Fiji. So this gives you an idea of what the art looked like, and a lot of the art and tattoo symbols of the past came from tapa or pottery.
Oh, okay.
And was translated or put onto skin. So in Fiji, this is a lot of the Fijian patterns used, and this is what they look like. Here's another piece right here.
Wow.
And they're pretty similar if you look at the symbols and the color. Red, browns are used a lot. Here's another one.
Yeah, it's like they also look like influenced by other islands too surrounding them.
Right, like Tonga.
Yeah.
Tonga and Fiji are very similar. When I was looking at the artwork, really similar.
They also said that
Robert, are you crying?
Yeah, man. Thinking about 872 bodies. How you digest that?
Sorry about that.
That's the sound effects we add to the soundboard.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. But so this is Fijian art.
Are those flowers or?
So yeah, they used the environment,
okay,
just like most of Polynesia. So flowers, the canoe, birds, mountains, and I have to study more on like what they mean exactly. But these are all tapa patterns. And then, so I want to show you these tapa patterns and then show you how they're used today in tattoos. Now, these aren't my tattoos. I have done some Fijian tattoos. It's just like in the past.
Yeah.
I did not do this. Disclaimer, I did not do this. I don't even know. I just kind of Googled, you know, just to show you guys an idea of what Fijian tattoos today looks like. And this is just today. Let me clarify. Here's another one.
Oh, okay. I see.
And like you kind of see the idea,
the
right?
patterns, yeah.
And the patterns are taken specifically from the tapa.
Okay.
So this picture is a traditional Fijian tattoo. As you can see, it's a woman.
So
and here's another picture of a woman. And as you can see in this woman, it's under her skirt.
Oh, she has the tattoo?
Right. They had a tattoo on their like bottom region.
Yeah, so it's like almost like the Samoan women, right?
No, because the Samoan women tattooed their thighs.
Oh.
And Fijians would tattoo their vulva.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
That's insane.
They would tattoo that region.
I feel like Fiji's just extreme. They're just extreme. Yeah. They go for it all with everything.
It's like, really interesting. The women of Fiji would get tattooed, not the men. And maybe some men did, but in there, I'm just talking strictly the culture, the history. The Fijian woman would get tattooed, and so it's said that in Tonga, they when the Tongans came and visited them, they saw that the Fijian women were tattooed.
Yeah.
And they liked it, and they wanted to take it back to Tonga. So they went back to Tonga. I saw this in 3 different references, and they sang a song. The Fijian women get tattooed, not the men. I mean, women get tattooed, not the men.
Yeah.
Women get tattooed, not the men. And when they got back to Tonga, the messenger hit his foot on a rock, razzled him up, and then he mixed up the song to the men get tattooed, not the women.
So it's almost like the Siamese twins going to Samoa with the same chant.
It's almost like Samoa, because Samoa, the Fijian twins, female twins, went and swam to Samoa to give the gift of tattooing and the art of tattooing, and then they mixed up the song, and then they went and said the men get tattooed, not the women.
Yeah.
But in Fiji, that's interesting, but then it makes sense.
Because they say they mix.
To me that you go back to Fiji and only the women got tattooed. So the song was right.
So it started, I wonder where it started. If it started from Fiji or if it started from somewhere before Fiji and it continued its way.
Well, I believe so. I think in Micronesia, because in Micronesia, Melanesia was before like Marquesas, Fiji, and all that. That's what I researched. Yeah. And I mean, we're talking like 1100 BC, like way back.
Well, they say the islands of Fiji were occupied in, BC, way back then. There's proof, but they also said they were Australian Aborigines who were there first, kind of migrated.
That's because the Aboriginals from Australia are really like native too. They're really similar.
They said that they just kind of migrated went from that to like Polynesian, but the facts were so back and forth that you can't really put your finger on like, oh, they're right. It's good readings though for sure.
It's hard, and that's why we have to look towards the oral tradition and keep that alive.
Yeah.
We have to talk to your grandparents, and we have to talk to the elders and get that information and pass it down. We have to. If not, it's dead. It's gone.
And we just rely on these books. Yeah.
You can't trust it all the time.
It's always made up. Well, most of the time.
A lot of the books that I've been reading were written by missionaries.
Yeah.
They love the culture and like the Maori one. He studied the Moko and all that, and a lot of good information. But he's on the outside looking in, asking questions.
Yeah.
We need the information from the descendants,
of the people,
of the culture.
Yeah.
To pass down that information.
Well, sometimes they get rid of all the books or the culture written down. They get rid of all that, so theirs look like the answer. Like this is the one.
Yeah.
So they're not. I mean, they're smart. Those ones back then, the missionaries.
All right, guys. So that's Fiji. We are going to hit tattoo highlights of the week.
Yeah, break it down.
Yep. So we're gonna break down some Polynesian tattoos. I want to give a disclaimer. So let's start this segment off with a short disclaimer to let you know again that this is just the IslandTAT style, the style that I personally has been inspired through my travels, my journey in life. I've had I'm at 20 years of tattooing right now currently, but it takes beyond a lifetime to learn everything, because in one culture alone, it could take a lifetime to learn it all. So how can you possibly learn Polynesia and all the symbols and meanings? I think it's impossible, but that's why you have to be open spiritually through your own personal ancestors and through others to pass this on and learn and share with each other. And we have to share with each other. So I'm going to share with you my style, like the meanings and how I'm inspired. And I don't want to, confuse anyone that this is the way Polynesian tattoos are done, because this really isn't. Polynesian tattoos are traditional and they're hand tapped and they're individual. There isn't any Polynesian tattoo per se. There's Samoan, there's Hawaiian. Polynesian tattooing is more of a contemporary, modern take on tattoos. So that's my disclaimer, just to let you know.
Let's put it out there.
As Tommy said, new generation of island tattooing, and this is my style, personal style. So I'm more than happy to share this because it's been a long journey for me. It's an ongoing journey. And,
always growing, though. You're always growing, man. Always learning.
Always growing. Always learning. So this first tattoo, is a tattoo. Now, it's really different than my personal style. And I like this tattoo because of the fact that a lot of artists get stuck in one style.
Okay.
And that's fine because it's what you're comfortable with. It's what you like and you know, how you're driven to create.
And push yourself.
For me, I definitely have a specific style, but I like to be open to everything, you know, because that makes it more exciting for me, not so boring, and I want to be different, and I want my pieces to look different. So this client, he came and wanted a he really liked the rocks tattoo.
Oh, that looks familiar. Okay.
So let's take a look. That's a side view. This is the back view of the tattoo, and then here's the front view. And I'm sure you guys are going to.
Oh yeah.
Right. I
mean,
how's that look to you? Look like the rocks tattoo?
Is that something that artists should do or should?
Well, this is a good reason why I want to highlight this tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember posting this when I first started this piece. Because I believe it's like 4 sessions already, and it's finally complete. But when I first posted it, someone, you know, said, looks familiar, question mark, you know, like, hey, you're copying someone, right?
Yeah.
And let's talk about it. You know, that I wanna just
put it on the table.
Openly talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah. When you look at that tattoo, it looks like the rocks. And to let you know, when he came in, I mean, he didn't say, I want the rocks tattoo. He said he likes the rocks tattoo.
Okay.
Okay, so it's different.
I see that.
Now, for me, I like to ask questions like, what do you like about the rocks tattoo? And then we get into design. I like the bold lines. I like the chest, that sunburst pattern. I want, you know, I like that there's rays coming out. I mean, we go into specifics. So here is a picture of his, like, all the views at once. And this just shows you a good idea of his tattoo. And again, it's inspired by the rocks tattoo.
Okay.
And just to refresh everyone's memory, because I know a lot of people don't know who the rock is. So this is what the rocks tattoo looks like. Okay, so that's kind of a good front, side, and back view of the rocks tattoo. So to compare it, let's go side by side, and let's look at the tattoo that I created and the rocks tattoo. So, as you can see right here, the sunburst, you know, that rays on his chest, he has that. That's what he liked. And if you look closely up top, it's similar, but it's not the same.
No, it's not. I was going to say
it's not the same, right?
You can see, like, okay, I like the rocks tattoo. I can see that in that. But
right.
You're not, it's not picture for picture the rocks tattoo.
I mean, you could see in the center photo, it's way more different.
Yes.
And especially the back, it's a lot more different. He liked the bold lines, so we kept that. He didn't want shading, and I love shading. He didn't want any, so we're not going to do it. We didn't do no shading. So if you look, no shading, and that also matches with the rocks tattoo. He doesn't have any shadows in his tattoo. But I do want to let everyone know, although it looks like the rocks tattoo, it's not a copy of the rocks tattoo. So let me show you what a copy of the rocks tattoo looks like.
Oh.
So this tattoo is a copy. Now, there's many copies of the rocks tattoo out there. And the reason why I know this is a copy, not inspired, is because if you look at almost every symbol, let's put a comparison right here. So if you go close and you take a look at every symbol of this tattoo on the bottom, right here, it's almost exact. I mean, where it's not exact is where it's hard to see. For example, on the back, down here on his back, near his arm, there's like a couple swirls. Well, look at the back of the rocks tattoo. It's hard to see what's going on. So he kind of like improvised and did his own thing.
You think the rock did that on purpose, like hit certain parts of his tattoo, so no one would copy? Or do you even think of that?
No,
maybe.
I don't think he even thought of that. And I don't think that he knew when he got his tattoo how much of an impact he was going to make.
No, it's true.
Because he probably knew he was going to make an impact.
Yeah.
But I think he was a major part of the movement, the Polynesian tattoo movement. And I'm not talking about Suluape Paulo, who took the hand tapping around the world. You know, he was like the major part of traditional tattooing. But The Rock brought it to mainstream.
Yeah,
he took it to where like everyone wanted
made
a
it
Polynesian
cool
tattoo, right?
Yeah.
And that could be good and that could be bad. But you know, a lot of people like to because I'm a tattoo artist, I hear a lot of the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, it's mainstream, it's not just anyone can put it on, you know, all these things, but I try to just look at the good because it's already done. You can't take it away. You can't go in the past and say erase it, you know?
Yeah.
Like you have to work with it. And that's what this show's about.
I mean, his isn't 100% what he thinks it is either, you know, so.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
another
thing.
story.
That's a whole nother thing. So, so that, again, this is a copy. And what's bad about that is that you're taking someone's story.
Yeah.
Not only a story, but when this tattoo was designed for The Rock, it was designed with his body, his muscle structure. Everything about this tattoo works with The Rock. If you look at this tattoo, like they're trying to make it work with his body.
He got those traps, man.
Yeah. It just doesn't flow. It's all weird, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't like to talk bad about people's work.
Oh well. So here we go.
I don't like that he straight up copied it.
Yeah. People do what they do,
but
you know.
I can't judge, you know.
Do you think he stenciled that? Like, is that freehand or is that?
Yeah, it could have been a stencil because I've seen stencils being sold for The Rock's tattoo. And real quick, just for a simple comparison, for those of you that, you know, say that the tattoo that I did is The Rock's tattoo, it's a copy. Let's look at all three and see them all three in comparison. I know this is a small photo, but it's good enough to just take a look and see and notice that, I mean, that's the difference between being inspired and copying.
Well, I mean, you got Tommy here who's putting good stuff in the universe saying, bro, The Rock needs a tap by Josh.
Yeah.
And he's putting it out there, man.
You know, the funny thing is that he does.
Yeah, he does. He needs a tattoo by Josh.
He does. One day.
One day.
We'll see.
He's going to walk in and be like,
happens.
You want a forearm?
You know, I just like that he is a big influence to the world. I don't even want to say Polynesian community. He's a leader in the Polynesian community, and it's good that he embraces his culture.
Yeah.
Because
not many people do.
Some people, I'm not even gonna say names, but some people that are Polynesian, just go mainstream and just want to live the mainstream life.
And it's not just
Hollywood
Polynesian
life.
either. Like other cultures too. You got, you know, a lot of Latin actors and actresses who change their names because
they want to be Hollywood.
Yeah, they want to be Hollywood. And if they keep their real names, they'll go downhill.
I mean, it's crazy that they don't even make up The Rock's tattoo in movies. They let him wear it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's cool. That's good though.
Like that says a lot, you know. And when I first saw a Polynesian tattoo in a movie, like in the movie theater, that's like mind blowing. Like they wouldn't do that. It's so different. They would never do that. So that just goes to show that, you know, I look at it in a positive way that Polynesians are being put on the map, and we got to take that and move it forward. Not like down upon it. Like, you know, we're not supposed to be doing this.
Edward asked, "Do you know the artist who did The Rock's tattoo?"
Yeah, his name is Po'oino. You guys can look him up.
Oh.
Po'oino. Po'oino.
Po'oino.
He lives in France. He's a Tahitian artist, so that's why The Rock's tattoo is mostly Marcasian Tahitian.
It looks like it. I was gonna say it looks like it,
Samoan.
like the face and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But his name's Po'oino. If you look at his style, a lot of people that get tatted by Po'oino has like that style, like The Rock. I've never been able to meet him, but I know people that were tatted by him and heard the story of The Rock getting tattooed and all that. So anyway, so let's move on, guys. So that's The Rock's tattoo. All right, let's take a look at this piece. So this was done this week, and real quick, I mean, okay, it's a tattoo, whatever, but it's actually a Sharpie tattoo. So
no pain.
The new wave of tattooing.
Never know.
So the reason why I wanted to show you guys this is because this is kind of new. I used to do weirdly enough, I used to do Sharpie tattoos. It was a request. People wanted Sharpie tattoos because they wanted to see what it looked like and not commit.
Oh.
It was just what they wanted. And the funny thing is, when I very first started doing it, I did it for like probably a year or two at festivals when I used to go, up and down the West Coast doing festivals. I used to draw on people. And I still have clients that I drew on, like to this day.
So, I mean, I have one question before.
Yeah.
Do you use different size Sharpies? Do you have like the smallest one to the thickest one?
You know what sucks is that this one, I didn't plan on doing a Sharpie tattoo. It just happened that day, so I know I didn't. I only had like one Sharpie.
But do you use like
but
different?
if I planned this,
yeah,
then I would have went and got like
that's
other
cool.
Sharpies so that I could have a fine tip and a thicker tip. But on this one, honestly, I'm not too proud of the quality because it's not gonna last. It was literally for him to look and see the design and see if he's okay with it or not. So when we did his consultation, he wanted a Filipino inspired tattoo. He wanted the sun in there somewhere. On this next picture, you could see it on the front of his arm, right here. And we talked about all the designs, and a lot of the designs are where his family's from in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this isn't to show off the tattoo. This is to show off the option. So because he came in wanting a tattoo and he wanted to see it before he got it, a lot of people ask that. But what I did, which is different, is say, okay, look, I'm not going to spend a lot of time consulting with you, sitting here designing it, then you walk out the door.
You got to pay for that.
I mean, I'm just not going to do that. And if anyone's out there can think about it, it's just not smart. I mean, we'll go down and get another shop to do it or whatever. And the whole thing is that the mana or power, in that piece is from the consultation forward with that client. It's a connection with the client. And so what I told him is, you know what? I completely understand that you want to see it and feel comfortable with it, and I respect that. And so what I'm going to do is charge you for a tattoo. Like the hours, Yeah. I'm going to charge you the hours that it takes me to consult and design this. I'm going to charge you like I would if I'm tattooing you. And then I'm going to put that towards your tattoo when you come back. Now, let's say he didn't want that design. He calls me. He's like, I kind of want to change this. I want to change that. We could totally do it. It's fine. I mean, honestly, I do that all the time because in the end, it's the client. It's his piece. We sit there and we design and we talk it through. But because he's okay with paying for it as far as tattooing and then putting it towards the tattoo, it shows his commitment towards it.
So you paid your rate
right
for that.
Yep.
Which, I mean, you might as well just got tattooed, man. Like, you might as well just...
Yeah, $300 an hour.
Yep.
So those of you that don't know, my rate is $300 an hour, and it sounds crazy because some people are 100, 150, 200, 300. That's I hear it all the time, but I also hear, oh, you're done already? Or, wow, you did so much in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You did so much in 2 hours. If you think about 20 years worth of work, probably $10,000 worth of equipment, that's my tattoo equipment. I could tattoo with a $100 machine just like anyone else. But why? Why not invest in the best for my clients?
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I mean, just the museum alone is over $20,000 worth.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not making money on that. I'm not charging people to look at artifacts. It's the shop, it's the culture, and it's the clients. That's what it's all about. And I'm blessed. My family's blessed because it's the intent. And that's what Polynesian culture is all about, is sharing the culture, loving everyone, and it all comes back. And I'm so blessed to be able to do this. So, I at no point think twice about my rate. And you know what? My clients come and they...
Oh,
they're happy.
You don't have empty slots. Just put it that way. You're not.
Yeah, I'm busy, but busy. I'm blessed,
Yes.
but I give it my all. Like, that's one thing I guarantee to everyone. You come to IslandTAT, you're gonna get the quality and
the care, everything.
We give it all. I mean, everything.
I just want to say again, this is a Sharpie tattoo.
Yeah. Those of you just joining.
You can see those line work, and this is not his tattooing. It's a Sharpie.
Stuff,
Sharpie.
It's just a Sharpie tattoo. So real quick, this is the inside. And
ouch.
So this is ouch, yeah.
Ouch.
And this is his first tattoo, so he was really nervous, I would say.
Yeah.
Here's the backside.
Ooh. Did he ever get it completed?
Well, this was just done this week.
Oh.
So he's gonna, I mean, I'm actually booked up, so he's gonna wait anyway.
Yeah.
But probably maybe a couple months or something. He'll come
That's
back.
nice.
So here's a shot of 4, like, you know. So I just wanted to show you guys. I'm not too happy on the quality of this tattoo, but it is it's an tattoo
option
designed for him, and an option, you know, to think about. That goes to the commitment, to show if you're committed, you know, money shouldn't be an option, because if people come in and just pay 1 hour's worth.
Yeah.
I know artists that go, no, minimum 2 hours, 3. Okay. If that's all you got, that's all you got. We'll work with it, you know, because it's your skin.
I just want to read a couple comments we have, and Marcy just said, "Hey Josh, love your show."
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying,
thank
like,
you guys for watching and tuning in.
Edward's saying, but it lasts a lifetime. It's worth it. And then Ryan earlier said, you know, he heard The Rock is doing Kamehameha movie next year.
Yes, he will, and hopefully he talks to Lee Nui.
That'd be awesome.
Because I heard The Rock when he's doing the Kamehameha movie. I mean, it's gonna be deep.
Yeah,
there's a lot
of culture
and
it should
involved,
be.
and you know, hopefully there's a lot of truth in that movie. It's gonna get out to the world. It's really good. It's really good for everyone. All right, so this next one, let's talk about this next tattoo. Now, this tattoo I just want to talk about because it's just inspired. It's a Polynesian inspired tattoo. And he wanted the wolf, and he showed me a design that was like geometric patterns. That's kind of like New Age.
Okay.
With animals and different objects.
That is
with
different,
shapes.
yeah.
So I did it, and other artists do this. I'm not the only one. I'm just showing you, you know, an option again, a different example of tattoos that could be designed. Here's the front view of this wolf. And he's actually coming back for a full sleeve. I outlined the full sleeve, so I dropped it down. Okay. But this is just patterns, and the patterns inside of the tattoo is, you know, family and other things. So I created this tattoo using symbols and patterns that were like more with his life.
I see. You know, it's from for actually being part of the show and learning.
Good.
I can see like the story. I actually like, oh wow, that's deep.
And that's what's good, is that the more that you watch and the more that you learn and listen repetition, you can kind of break down tattoos. But again, certain symbols are like could mean 3 different things or 10. So generally you could break it down, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get the gist. You can go either way.
Right. So that's just an idea, guys. I just wanted to show that real quick. Now this last tattoo that I have here, it's different. It's not Polynesian, but I want to throw this in because it has a lot of meaning. This is a friend of mine. Actually, okay. I was gonna say I used to build elevators, and you know, it's a coworker back in the day. He actually helped me a lot. Shout out to Phil. Anyways, my buddy, he came and he wanted to. He was at the
Las Vegas, or the concert outside the MGM. The shooting.
Route 91. Is that it? The
concert,
I think
so,
or whatever. So he was there at the shooting. So those of you that don't know, there was a massive shooting in Las Vegas last year.
Weren't you guys just leaving Vegas when that happened?
We were there. Yeah. How crazy is that? We were actually there. There were 58 people that died. 58 people that died.
That's crazy.
There were 851 people injured. 851 people shot or injured, right? And some people had multiple shots in them.
That's insane.
The reason why I'm just saying this is to kind of give you guys a story as if you're there. And this is important because when you sit down with clients, or you know, you have a story. And Phil and his wife sat down and talked about their story. Now, when they tell the story, you kind of want to like be there and feel it to understand why they're getting their piece, why they want it. And the reason why he got a wing is because he got a wing with 58 feathers, So I had to count out 58
Oh,
about 10
wow.
times.
Yeah, you
Because
can make sure.
The feathers were getting
Yeah.
all like confusing, and
Mhm.
I had to like color. I mean, it got crazy, but I want to make sure there's 58. It's really important. And for him, he said it's angels looking over him because I mean they pass. It's a way to remember them.
Mhm.
And he was telling this story. Look, I'm getting goosebumps because
Yeah.
it's real. I mean, he was there. He said when he heard the first shot, because he was a firecracker. He grabbed. There was like 6 of them total, and he grabbed them and like threw them down, and he was down, and there were shots going, and just imagine that, right?
Yeah, it's just.
And I think it was like a minute or two before everyone really realized what was going on because they thought it was like fire.
Yeah.
Most people just thought it was noise and fireworks or whatever. But when people were dropping, that's when people were running. But he already knew. And he said that as they were running out, I mean, one of the girls in the parking lot died, like right behind him, was shot and killed. They went through I mean, he explained the story, and people were injured and shot.
It's just something
One was
that.
killed like right next to him, but he could hear pinging. He could hear bullets flying, like whistling beside him.
Mhm.
So he escaped that. They both did. I mean, there was 6 of them there, and this next tattoo is his wife. And I actually did both of these tattoos today, and because they got it together. But there's 6 birds for the 6 of them that were there, and Psalm 91 is a verse that is on there. It's crazy.
To sit with you and talk story and actually take yourself back to that moment. It takes a lot for someone to even to speak of something that they've gone through like that. I mean, I could only imagine, but at the same time, thank you for coming in the shop, and
I mean,
expressing that.
It's really meaningful, and the reason why I wanted to show everyone this is because it's not Polynesian, but it has meaning.
Mhm.
Not all tattoos have to be Polynesian with meaning. Everyone knows that, but this one is powerful. They got it together, and that is a part of their life that they will always remember. And they said it's like a gift.
Yep.
To be living, hearing bullets flying, whistling.
It's a part of their life that makes them who they are today,
And Psalms 91:4, it says, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge." So that's why
Beautiful.
they got that verse.
Also, it's a good point that, you're showing this to let people know who, I mean, as someone who gets a lot of phone calls for the shop, is that we do other stuff besides Polynesian. We
Yes.
do all kinds of tattoos.
I mean, pretty much anything you want, we
Yeah.
do, for the most part. If we can't do it, we'll let you know we can't do it. But that is the tattoo highlights of the week. And we like to do that just to give artists, aspiring tattoo artists or artists out there ideas in designing or tattooing, but also clients, if you're thinking about getting a tattoo, ideas for you to think about. And if you go to an artist out there, what to look for in an artist, I guess, and then see if they're just pulling something up, or if they're really into the culture and know what they're doing.
They'd be like, I seen a show and you're doing this all wrong.
Yeah. What show? What is that?
You should watch this every Tuesday and let you know.
Yeah. And by the way, spread the word. So those of you just tuning in, again, if you make if you write a comment, just where you're listening from, ask a question, comment, whatever.
Say hi.
We are raffling off this sweater at the end of the show. We only made 2 of them. It's
Limited.
a size 2X, but it is limited edition. We only made 2 of them in the whole wide world. There's only 2 of these.
It's gray and is
really
black,
soft.
and it's a blue background.
It's good. It's good quality.
So soft.
We actually made those as prototypes, and we only made 2 of them.
I wish I fit a 2X because those are so comfortable.
Me too. That's why I don't have one. All right. So last but not least, we're gonna go over tattoo tutorial. So what I like to do on this segment is you guys ask questions. Let me know what you guys want to know, and I'll just show you what I know and share my knowledge with you and my ideas. It's not, like the truth throughout the world, but it's It's my IslandTAT truth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we
It's
put
what I
out
think.
that post earlier asking you guys, if you guys haven't seen it, of any questions you may have for Josh going over tattoos, and we're welcome to any questions, anything you want. And we had actually a listener, message us, and big shout out to Amos. He sent us, how would I say it, a sketch, or
Yeah, he did a drawing and wanted some tips.
yeah, he just wanted to ask some tips from Josh.
So we asked him, is it okay if we show? Because instead of just giving tips to this guy, that wants some ideas and help, hey, why don't share it to the world, right? And again, hey, any artist out there that thinks I'm doing it wrong or has other ideas, write it down, man, because I want to learn myself. So I'm gonna go over this, as you can see right here. So what's his name?
Amos.
All right, so Amos did this sketch, and he is an inspiring artist, right? He's an artist, and he wants to know or have idea tips. Before I show you some tips, right off the bat, as I look at this, there's two symbols that I see that are based off of nature or, different things in Polynesia. This first one is a lauhala mat.
Oh.
So this is the actual lauhala mat or fala mat. It's a weaving.
Where's that from?
It's a, what do you mean?
Is it like a certain...
Like the pandanus tree.
Oh, okay.
So it's leaves woven together.
Yeah.
To make mats, baskets. I mean, all kinds of things in Polynesia. And the second symbol is the koru or fern. And the fern, which derives, it's throughout Polynesia, but it's really known in New Zealand, Aotearoa. This is the actual fern, and this is another idea of the fern close up.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so let's look at the design again. So that gives you guys an idea of how these symbols, or basically where these symbols come from, that he drew. And I'm sure that you guys seen a lot of these symbols in Polynesian designs. So that's where these symbols come from. So, real quick, what I would let Amos know is right off the bat when I see this, he says it's a shield. Because we asked him, what were you trying to create?
And he was just talking about he was inspired by his family and just growth and just basically talking about the meanings mean. So, I think he's just trying to throw something together for himself and that shield.
Okay, good. And that's really important because we could just design on a flat piece of paper Polynesian designs with general meanings. But when you start getting into someone's story or their life, what I do personally, I just sit on it. Like, it's kind of weird, but this is my process. I sit on it and I hear their story and I kind of feel it.
Yeah.
And when I feel it, when I transfer it or start drawing it, something happens and it kind of transforms. And that's just my, it's hard to explain, but that's it.
I got it. I get what you're saying. Deeper, yeah. You're connecting to their story, and
yes.
And you're seeing what they're seeing, and that's what goes into your art and your tattoo. It's
very good.
That's why it makes it so good, man. That's why it's good
thanks,
stuff.
Robert.
Hey, man.
Get it?
Yeah. That's why you did mine. Remember, you did my arm.
So refreshing. You get it. All right. So that's true. So first off, what I want to do is just say that this design right here, the first thing that I see that's really important in Polynesian designs is symmetry and straight lines.
Okay.
Parallel lines. Pathways need to be correct. So when I first look at a piece, if we're not talking about meanings and we're just strictly talking about design, I'm going to want to say that this line right down the middle needs work. Now, now this is just me. I'm really, really big on line work. I don't know why, but ever since I started this, I study, I practice line work like nonstop because I'll never be perfect at it, but that's my number one thing. So when I look at pieces, that's the first thing I see. So Amos, the first thing I want to say is this right here needs to be straighter. And every single koru on this paper needs to be straight. When I talk to my apprentices, a lot of them hate me
No.
I don't go well,
Yeah.
things don't go well with my apprentices when it comes to
Direction.
nitpicking design, because I don't know, it's really, really big for me. So I would practice that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about if every single koru or fern on this paper is straight except that one right there,
Oh, wow.
fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. If you want my take on it, fix it. Like, practice it really, really well. The way I see it is that if you're going to take time to practice and draw, then do it right. Practice it right and take the time. So what I'm talking about is if you take, let's say I'm gonna fix, or just work on it. I'm gonna take this red marker and use it as, let's say, a pencil. So this is done with the marker or a pen. And if you first start drawing it with a pencil, then you could take the pencil and draw your pathways first. And please don't judge my line work, because I'm live on a show right now. But anyways, so just do your guideline and make sure that that's right, and then you can go and do the ferns as well. And when you do the ferns, try and make it as symmetrical as possible. And I mean, it's gonna be difficult, but it takes practice. Now, obviously, that's not symmetrical, but you get the idea. So when you go and you do these ferns, you're doing it so that these lines right here are the same size all the way through. Like, they have to be the same size. Like this here has to be the same as this. And these are just guidelines, and hopefully you could see the red, but they're guidelines so that when you go over it with your marker, and obviously there's ferns down here. This line right here is completely straight. And it might be common sense, like everyone's like, yeah, we get it, but like I mean, it makes sense, right? But when you're doing it, all this black would be this black, right? All the lines.
Oh,
so that is perfect, because right here, if you could see, this is what caught my attention is the line work. Now, not only that, but you shouldn't, right here, you shouldn't have a line.
Okay.
I hope, Amos, you could see this, but you shouldn't have a line here. It should be open, just per the design style that the Maori would do it. Like, it would be open right there. And everything would be more curved. Like, this one goes straight, and then like that, you should have more curve. Like, you have it right some places. So the first thing I would do is consistency. Keep it consistent.
Mm-hmm.
This right here going under, I don't know. Personally, I just wouldn't do that because the design style doesn't work like that. It's like more just ferns, right? There's a lot of things, Amos. I wanna like keep breaking it down. It's hard though because also composition is important. And the reason why I say composition is because the fala or the lauhala mat underneath, I don't think it's a good pattern to work with.
Mm-hmm.
These two don't really match. Like, you could make it work. There's ways to make it work, but this is confusing. Look, as you get near all in here, you don't really know what's going on. And then it just goes, there's a line and it just stops. You want flow throughout this whole piece. And another thing that I like with Polynesian tribal is that when I first look at a piece, I want to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know what it is. I don't want to have to look at it and then kind of like break it down.
And he
That
says,
makes sense?
he's saying thank you for the tips too. He says things.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not
No, I
watching
just
that.
seen it right now. He just said things.
Hey, thanks for watching, Amos. And, honestly, if you have any more questions, ask. And this is what it's all about,
Yeah.
just to further your artwork and make it work for you.
So it's almost
so you
like
understand too.
like with something you just want the basics to really pop out, kind of. Is that what you're trying to say?
When I look at this, the first thing I would work on is the basics, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the line work, keeping it all parallel.
Okay.
And if this took, I don't know, an hour to do, then take 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
instead. Just
Really,
slow it down.
really, yeah.
Just slow it down. And you're still not going to be perfect. Still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, expect it. You're not going to, after 2 hours, it's going to be a little better. It's not going to be, like, way better. Those that think that they're going to be way better, those that think that that they're going to be way better by taking the time, you're going to fall short. Now here's me just talking as when I talk to apprentices and look, I'm not the best artist. I'm not. But if people come and ask me questions, the reason why I got where I got is because I was always hard on myself, and I never settled, and I never thought that I was like good.
Yeah.
Most people go, yeah, I'm
I'm the best.
I'm the best.
The best.
Like, oh, I'm the man.
Uh-huh.
And even though I get a lot of compliments and stuff, it's whatever. For me, it's like, look, for one, all glory to God.
Yeah.
Because He blesses me. It's all through Him. But I'm not even there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even halfway there. Like, I still need a lot of work. But those that are just starting, hey, just start off by practicing and get your line work done. Keep the pathways parallel.
Mm-hmm.
Making it try to hit perfection. You'll never hit perfection, but try it every time. Never fall short of perfection.
Well, it's kind of like anything we do here. I mean, stuff you taught me, other things, just slow it down and, just think about it and keep doing the basics. And if you fall short, go back to your basics and figure out what I missed. Sometimes you miss a step here and there,
Right. I mean, what's funny is, like, when I first started tattooing and I was studying so much, I thought I knew a lot. And then I started traveling throughout Polynesia, and the more that I learned from the chiefs and just the more that I learned, I realized I didn't know, like, anything. I was like, I don't know anything.
But then you're
oh
grateful
my
for that.
goodness.
You're like, oh,
But
more.
as soon as I thought that I knew nothing,
Mhm.
I started learning a lot
Mhm.
because I was open to learning.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I started just learning a lot, and I still think that I don't know much, and I'm still open, and it's a never-ending thing.
Yeah.
Pono says that he's been tattooing for a couple years. I didn't know you tattooed, Pono. So please join in on the conversation. Well, you have, and thanks for that, but also for tattooing and everything else.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're trying to create a community here. So, Amos, if you have any other questions, sorry, it wasn't much. Because I think if I'm going to start talking designs, symbols, and everything else with you, we're jumping past where you have to first start on the basics.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
Kind of work on that, so that when we work on symbols and I guess creation of the design,
And the flow and all
composition,
that.
then it's like doing it in steps, right? Like how you're supposed to do it. So I would just really work on your line work and just know that I personally wouldn't put the Lauhala mat with these symbols because it could be confusing. My only tip is that when you look at a piece, you want to feel good. You want to understand what's going on right away. And sometimes as artists, we get too complicated because we're so artistic and creative, and we have to tone it down because everyone's not artistic, and people want to just look at something and understand.
So it's almost like the less is more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I had to learn myself.
What's when we learned good is fine and better is fail, or what the doctor say? The 2-day tattoo, there are surgeons.
Me.
Oh gosh.
I think you're making stuff up
No,
now.
you
and
see,
you're trying to
they
have me agree to you.
They said when they were when they're doing surgery that if most surgeons mess up, was they go, I could do better. and if they're fine, like it's good, it's fine, just leave it. But if they think they do, but they usually mess up and they cut.
I remember when he was talking about that, but now everyone's just joining in, going searching, cutting, good.
That was like 2 episodes ago, so we go back to the sweater now, I guess, if we're almost ready.
Yeah. Hey, no, I get it though. Yeah. You're right. Hey guys, so thanks for joining. We're gonna do the raffle. Those of you that have been watching, we're gonna be giving away this sweater right now. So, hey, if you're just joining us, make a comment, write a comment, say aloha, say what's up, whatever. Those of you that are watching, we're going to write your name. You have a few seconds.
Yeah, literally a few seconds.
And we have been getting a larger community going on this show. So we want to encourage the follows and the likes because we can actually do something. I don't know any other platform that talks about Polynesian tattooing like we do, that
or the
shares
culture. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about this, but like the way that we do it, I don't know anyone else that does it. So share this information, tell everyone about it, and, you know, encourage them to check our page out, watch our past shows.
Share the videos.
Yeah. Like and follow the page. And those of you that do, we are going to be, we're working on different
different things to get you guys more, more involved and getting our stuff out there too.
Like during the week, we might make posts saying, "Hey, first one to comment will get this," or whatever. We're gonna do certain things that if you follow our page or like the page, it'll come up in your feed, and you might have chances to win different things. So, all right. So here we go. We are going to do the raffle.
Ready? And so close that cage up.
Cameron's over here.
We'll do it on mine. I'll do it over here.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it right here.
So we got all the names in there.
Is he Cam?
Thanks, Cameron. Oh, and real quick, by the way, Cameron, we were doing Cameron's tattoo, and last week we started designing his add-on for his full sleeve, and we were gonna keep doing that, but I didn't know he was going to Hawaii. Well, I knew that, but I didn't like calculate the days, and it's not smart to start tattooing him until he gets back. So we're gonna hold off on that, but
he's really not going. That's just a made up story. Just so you guys know.
He is nervous at the tattoo. No, he's excited.
Yeah.
It is a memorial tattoo for his grandfather, so it's an important tattoo. But again, stay with us every week, every Tuesday, guys, at 6:30. We are here to do different cultures, share some history, and then talk tattoos.
I wish we had music.
Break down tattoos and everything.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what I'm singing. Should I just pick a name? Oh, there we go. Everybody's just waiting.
Guys. Here we go.
Should I just pick it?
Oh, wait. Okay, ready? Here we go, guys. Wait. Let's show him. For this sweater, it's getting cold. We're in December. It's a 2X. You can give it as a gift or use it yourself. It is a soft quality, good quality. Only 2 of these made in the whole wide world.
We got.
Who wins it?
Eric Molipula.
Cameron.
La 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 la! You won, Eric. You won because you were watching.
All right, Eric.
No, that's right.
Hey, congratulations.
Yay.
Okay, so Eric, we're gonna be in touch with you. You get this sweater. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. Keep commenting. Ask questions. And if you do have any questions for next week's tattoo tutorial, message us, make a comment, let us know, and we could set a whole segment up and answer the question for everybody.
Don't be shy. All questions are welcome.
And thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Till next week. We'll see you guys then.
Later.
Shoots.